Once again, we have faced a day of fear.
A shooting at Taft Union High School this morning. Breaking news here on CNN as we are getting word out of Orangeburg, South Carolina, of a school shooting.
Gunman kills 1 and injures 3 at Seattle University.
That teacher was killed today during a shooting rampage. It happened at a middle school in Sparks.
A man kills 3 with a knife, shoots and kills 3 more, and wounds 13 near a college campus in Santa Barbara, California.
Say, stop this madness. We don't have to live like this. Too many have died. We should say to ourselves, not one more.
And yet, in less than 3 weeks, 2 more school shootings in the U.S. and 3 more dead. Since December 2012, when 20 children and 6 adults were shot to death at Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut, there have been 15 similar incidents. That's an average of 1 every 5 weeks. Shootings on school property or targeting students, teachers, or administrators.
The country has to do some soul searching about this. This is becoming the norm. And we take it for granted in ways that, as a parent, are terrifying.
Teachers have the right to carry weapons if they want.
Is it a good idea to arm these teachers?
This graph shows the number of school shootings from 1999 to 2015. Since Columbine, there has been a tenfold increase from 6 to 60 shootings. The next few clips will give you a better insight into the debate raging about arming teachers in school.
What does scientific research have to say on the matter? Since Columbine, one of the worst shootouts in U.S. history, a number of studies have been published examining the issue of violence in schools. Research published in the Journal of Police Crisis Negotiations looked at various approaches to school security. They found that the placement of school resource officers to help deal with bullying, racial tensions, disrespect, and gangs lowered violence and gang problems on high school campuses. When armed security was put on campus, schools experienced an overall increase in violent crime. Such was the case with Columbine itself, which had armed guards on campus when the shootout happened.
Some of the security measures that they have taken to...
Right. So they've got the lock on the front door. All the doors are locked, so nobody can come in unless they pass through the front office. They've got the video camera in the front office so you can see who's coming in. All the teachers have to log in and log out at the door each day, so there's only authorized personnel coming in unless the secretary lets you in. We have a golden police officer here at the building, stationed at the building. Everybody has to check into the office, just even the design of the school. Once you're let in, you can't get down the hallways until you go past the office, of which is fully staffed with secretaries. They've been trained, they know what to do. In terms of screening people coming in. I think that's the first and biggest thing, is the only people allowed in the building are the people who are supposed to be here in the first place.
Welcome back to The Lead. I'm Jake Tapper, now our politics lead. She says he was armed with an AK-47 and told her he was off his medication and ready to die. One brave bookkeeper near Atlanta, Georgia, potentially saved a school full of children from what could have been an all too familiar nightmare, and her words were her weapon.
He said that no one loved him, and I told him that I loved him and that it was going to be okay, that we were going to get out safely. And then I told him that if he just go ahead and surrender, since he didn't hurt anyone, that I would stay there with him until they came to get him.
Antoinette Tough, a very apt surname. Tough helped the suspect, Michael Brandon Hill, unpack his extra ammunition and put his weapon down. She's a hero. But should Tough and school faculty members like her across the country at least have the right to be armed with more than their wits?
NRA has been saying for a very long time, the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Well, in this case, a woman with good words, I love you, was able to turn it around. So I just want to take a moment just to reflect on that. Very, very lucky. It does not happen that way every time. Yeah. But I do think it's important for us to recognize that this time a woman with good words was able to turn it around. I don't understand why we're now wanting to talk about these sort of exotic ideas of arming teachers and that kind of stuff when we still haven't done what the law enforcement community is saying, which is to tighten up the background checks. The problem we have right now, we don't know how this guy got a gun, but what we do know is he's a convicted felon. He shouldn't have had one.
Tell me how much sense you think it makes to have our line of defense be armed teachers.
Certainly, when we have this discussion, you have to, does a teacher have the the inner fiber to carry that weapon, the awesome responsibility. You're a teacher in a classroom, you're an educator, you've dedicated your entire life to that pursuit, but you've got a sidearm strapped to yourself, and you better have it all the time, because if you put it in your desk drawer, or your purse, or your briefcase, and where are you going to leave it? Let me tell you something. Carrying this weapon on my side's been a pain all these years. I'm glad I have it if I need it, but I'm telling you, it's an awesome responsibility. And what do you do in the summertime when you dress down? How are you going to safeguard that weapon from a classroom full of 16-year-old boys that want to touch it?
For that, we should be looking at mental health fixes. I understand that this suspect himself was off his medication. Something that most all of these shootings have in common is a mental health issue that we're simply not addressing because we are focusing on guns and bullets.
Van?
Well, we all can agree that we need more mental health. I think we need some mental health for the people who are these crazy lobbyists who are keeping us from implementing what law enforcement says will work, which is tighter background checks. We should not live in a world where a crazy person or somebody who's been convicted can do cartwheels through all these big loopholes and land in a kindergarten with a gun and hurt people. And no law can stop every crime, but you work together usually to get the laws tougher. The right wing usually wants tougher laws. The only time that when our laws are failing us, they say they don't want tougher laws, is when it comes to gun laws. I just don't understand it.
Schools have already gone through many security measures to make us safer, and bringing a new gun into the school is more likely to cause a problem than to prevent one.